All right, just to give you another example, first of all, you're looking at the environment where you're absolutely able to not only prosecute, you're able to recognize mental illness, you're able to recognize the system by the state, you're also recognizing the patterns in that environment. That's the fake moon there. And this is, again, nothing stopping traffic, okay? They're not even here about a Zumba class. It's about being around me where homosexual women are thereby exposed. Their homosexuality is also directly related to their demon possession. And license 9, Bob, Uncle Wendy, 875, is stalking me at 5:45 in the morning, and doing so while sitting in the street, aiming light, reflecting off of that building with regard to the P.O.C, stalking with light, and also wanting to commit sexual assault and battery. This is what this homosexual wants to do, is to touch. As I walk on the sidewalk and they're tracking my steps, and this is occurring during the day under the fake sun where homosexuality is also exposed. Homosexual women that are vagina monitors, obsessed with me and my bodily fluids, obsessed with every syllable that I utter, obsessed with the way in which I move, I speak, and I am, while they are gang stalking. And they do that with their male counterparts, psychopaths sitting in the dark, while they're stalking. They're stalking. And they're doing so under the fake moon. This is the same shit where the fake sun is. And you already know what the Ontario International Airport is. You already know what the Ontario Police Department is. It's a population of demons. And you're going to prosecute because under the law, it's terrorism. While a mentally ill population that is demon possessed, and I just want to give you some illustration here. This is demonic activity while you're looking at the cross that's floating in the sky. I just want to be clear, Satan is always in reference to what is religion for Satan. It's not a genuine faith. Satan cloaks himself behind the name of behind the name of Christ and behind that cross, where at this venue, demonic and satanic conduct is underway. This is ritualistic. This is a person that's stalking, and that's Satan that is not looking at you, not addressing you. That's supposed to be the passive aggressive signature. It's the identification of mental illness, which is a threat to American citizens. This is the entity that's conspiring your murder while they're looking to the left and the right, gang stalking you. And they're hostile because of the truth with which, the unadulterated, unfiltered, descriptive terms that I use to show you Satan. Satan that is homosexual, Satan that is obsessive, Satan that is a criminal, Satan that is the gang stalker. This is why they're staring out into the dark. What are they doing at 5:46 in the morning in the dark? They're stalking. And they know that they're being documented. This is a demon, and so is this. And this is the entity that's just sitting in the middle of the street, engaging in what is psychotic behavior. This is a homosexual. You see that? That's P.O.C. And this is the Ontario Police Department. That's the pattern of conduct. Sitting in the middle of the street, stalking you, and engaging in what is harassment. That's the pattern of conduct.
You shut the fuck up, okay? You better stop
Or what?
You better stop it.
Or what? Is that a threat?
No, you better stop
Is that a threat?
You know what?
Is that a threat?
You're so immature.
Who are you? Satan, do you know who I am? You talking like you're very familiar. Are you done putting your mask on? This is a drug addict. This is a drug addict. This is a Satan. This is Satan. This is a spirit. Understand? While Satan has a cross on his back. Don't be distracted. This is a drug addict and it's demon possession. Okay? And they're monitoring together. That ongoing aggression, that ongoing animosity while they're blocking the street. This is a spirit. This is what you need to understand. That's the pattern of conduct. And she's speaking as though she's met me before.
Shut the fuck up.
You speaking as though.
Shut the fuck up,
don't
bitch.
touch me. You're gonna want to not touch me.
Or
Or what?
Shut up.
Or what?
Shut the
Or
fuck
what?
Up. Shut up, bitch.
This is you're going to prison. You know that, right? She's holding a weapon.
Yes.
This is it. She's holding a weapon.
Stop harassing
I'm on the sidewalk and she's stalking. Oh, and that's assault. That's assault and battery. What else? You're going to prison. Mike Lorenz is going to prison. Mike Lorenz is going to federal prison.
Get your shit and get out of here.
This is a midget with a sharp object in her hand with a cross on her back, gang stalking with the people, hostile because they're being documented under the fake moon, gang stalking with demons like Jay Montez, engaging in what is psychotic criminal activity, serving the system, mentally ill behavior, engaging in what is that ongoing hostility while their mental illness and their criminal activity is being documented. You see this? Nothing's catching his attention. He's just standing. These are demons. And this is what you need to know murders people. This is why Mike Lorenz is going to federal prison. I have the evidence showing he is a terrorist leader. And this is the ongoing criminal servitude to that agency that's stalking as well. Pattern of conduct, P.O.C. These are homosexuals that are monitoring my vagina, gang stalking as a population, doing so to that violent speech while they're holding out a weapon. And this little midget, this demon-possessed midget that's calling out names and that's supposed to get you in your emotions. This is a demon. She's obsessed with this black woman's vagina. She's stalking this black woman in the middle of the night. She's doing so as a population. She's focused on me, but yet calling you names and whatnot. That's Satan. You need to understand that. And everybody in this parking lot is gang stalking. That's assault with a deadly weapon. She's going to prison. I just want to be clear. She's going to prison. This is demon possession, what you need to know though. But the demon possession of the Ontario police is resulting in federal prison. You need to understand that. This is exactly why Jay Montez is going to prison. You need to understand that. He's going to federal prison. You are not just under the fake sun while the entity is stalking you by helicopter, and it's only going to be prison when you kidnap. Oh no, this is why. It's a population, it's an unlawful threat, and they're sharing in the same mental illness. Jay Montez has the same mental illness, demon possession, the same mental illness. This ongoing threat, holding a nail file while you're threatening me and calling me racial epithets, engage in that pattern of conduct, engage in running over my property. This is a drug addict, and she's doing so in the name of the Ontario Police Department. That's again assault with a deadly weapon. That's P.O.C. That's a pattern of conduct. She's going to prison, and all the people in the state that I'm documenting are going to prison with her. This is group conduct. This is P.O.C. She's going to prison. She's going to prison, and she's doing this on behalf of the Ontario Police. You need to understand. You're going to document. And she's going to federal prison. Everybody that's gang stalking with her. You have Rosa that's over here in this van, driving Benjamin's van. She's going to prison with her. They're going to federal prison. They're in their vehicles, gang stalking. I'm going to get their license because they're all going to prison. And so is the Ontario Police. They're being disbanded for gang members, for homosexuals who are hostile, holding up weapons, engaging in what is assault and battery. And I'm supposed to stop documenting. I will not. This is why they are going to prison. This is why. That's a spirit that's obsessed with you, stalking you, and then is mad when you discern their demon possession. That's the pattern of conduct. Everybody in this parking lot's going to prison. Everybody in this parking lot can thank you for going to prison, crackhead. Everybody. P.O.C. That's the entity that's engaged in that while they're hostile because you are telling what they're doing while they're conspiring your murder. This is a drug addict up in the middle of the night. You need everybody that's stalking at the grocery store. It's not different. Everybody outside of Stater Brothers, everybody that's stalking in the commercial airline planes, everybody that works for the Ontario Police Department, everybody that lives at Alvarado Gardens, everybody that works for speaker companies, the demon possessed, whether they're on drugs, whether they are engaged, whether they look like a dog in the face, whether they're stalking me in the dark, whether they're in the hood or in the suburbs. It's the same condition. P.O.C. Everybody in this parking lot is about to be documented because they're sharing in this. This is federal prison. All right, Rosa and her minor children are gang stalking. They're right in here. They're monitoring. I'm documenting them. They're stalking the path. They're monitoring. This is the demon that doesn't have any license plate at the open family community library all the time. They're monitoring. And this is what they do when there's no evidence. They engage in what is hurting people, murdering them, and then the police, the Ontario police, for example, are not investigating it. They're going to prison. That's a molestation. You see my shadow? By a stalker. She is stalking. All right, that's the pattern of conduct. This is a psycho. I don't think so. What is wrong with you, Satan? Let go. Now you're coming after my property? This is a psycho. This is a spirit. Look at Shaw. I just want you to see it because she's going to prison. You're going to prison. You're going to prison. This is unfortunate. This is why the Ontario police go to prison because they don't have any self-control. She's going from stalking me in the middle of the street to being documented to now coming out and attacking because I am the focus in the first place. She wants me to leave her alone. I'm documenting everybody else, and you're over here touching my property. Rosa is right over here. She's gang stalking. All these demons are going to be prosecuted with her. She pulled a knife. She engaged in assault with the deadly weapon, the vehicle. She engaged in what is touching my property, trespass the property. She's engaged in what is verbalizing threats. She's speaking as a state and acting as a state. And this is, again, the third party that's engaged in this conduct because the Ontario police have conspired my murder with the people of the state. 9 Bob Uncle Wendy 875. She's going to prison, and I'm going to document gang violence is shared. And they're engaging that together. 9 Thomas Uncle Jerry 331. They're monitoring communication devices. And that's the elements of monitoring. They're going to prison, period. There's no discussion. It's strict liability. They're going to prison. Rosa is in this van, gang stalking, license EYB 9324. Rosa is the Latina female and all her gang stalking children. They're monitoring the violence. Rosa is routinely engaging in that, monitoring my vagina at the Open Family Community Library with her kids. And they're catching federal charges together as well. Engaging what is assault together. This is the demon that's gang stalking me with no license plate. That's prison. I already said that. These are serial stalkers that are engaged in this pattern of conduct and they're sharing in that violence. This is typically what they engage in and they think that it's funny. They share in it and they engage in this is the system of gang stalking. While a psychopath is stalking in the dark, looking out into the dark space like nothing is happening. I don't see anyone. I don't hear it. Listening to all that stalking. That's mental illness. It's not innocence. And you're looking at a violent iteration of that same delusional behavior. Same delusional behavior. That's the pattern of conduct. They're standing in engineered light. Anything, it doesn't matter what you're doing, you're monitoring and stalking in the engineered environment under the fake moon and the fake sun. And this is a third party sharing in what is assault with a deadly weapon, assault and battery, engaging what is vocalizing threats, and they're demons that are monitoring together. Let me show you. This is the demon manifesting light. They're demon possessed. It's not their inability to see. They're monitoring. Okay? And they are sharing in that violence. And I'm exposing to you what is the reality. The Zumba homosexuals are acting together. You need to understand you're dealing with a spirit. And as you're going to prosecute the government that's demon possessed, you're going to prosecute for criminal conspiracy because they are one entity acting together. That's how you're going to prosecute the demon possessed who are speaking as one, stalking as one. But the reality is those homosexual chunky little chubbies at Zumba are hostile. And so you have another demon that's engaging in violence on behalf of them. Okay, this drug addict that's stopping in the middle of the street, stalking at 5 in the morning, doing so with another hostile demon. Hostility is deduced from the environment, from the speech, also to the passive and psychotic, psychologically torturous behavior of stalking someone, threatening them while acting as though you're doing something else. That's a threat. It's not innocence. They're mentally ill. You're going to prosecute for this so-called stoicism upon the federal group stalking and monitoring pattern of conduct. It's not the absence of a threat. It's the exact opposite because they're so mentally ill. And this is a drug addict that just engaged in violence, again, on behalf of the gang members of the Ontario Police. Ontario Police merely represents the U.S. government that is acting vicariously through a population who are demon-possessed. This is the Nephilim that engages in violence against the American citizens who do not have the evidence, who are sitting around, they're already 6 feet under, they're kidnapped, while the entity that's sick, this is sickness as well because they're in their vehicles gang stalking, they're in their homes monitoring, and this is a shared event. Everybody at the grocery store, Stater Brothers, where I'm headed, is monitoring and are aware of it. Kia, that's at the register, she's gang stalking. Isaiah at the register, Frank at the register, Don Quinones, the manager, this is the same entity. They speak as one. They share the same demon possession, and under the law, it's the same criminal conspiracy. This is an illusion regarding strangers, and you're not encountering them unless they're in your face, and you're talking to them. This is demon possession, and it is also the state that is monitoring. This is exposing their spiritual practices, witchcraft, demon possession, their condition, which is also relevant to their mental illness, which is directly indicative of the criminal conduct, which is gang stalking, criminal monitoring, stalking as an entity. This is P.O.C. I'm going to get these license plates. 8WYH469. This is why they're going to prison. Tracy Banks is going to prison. The chubby one, Shanita Ramaya McLean, who's engaging what is homosexual conduct by having sex with people that I formerly know, that I'm not even interested in. That's a conduct of a gay woman that wants to be with you. Having sex with Tracy Banks' husband, they're going to federal prison. I'm just referencing the people of the state whose name I know. You don't have to know their name. You know them by the environment, and you know that they know you by that environment. Everybody in this parking lot, and that's just what I'm getting right now because it's more than this parking lot. The entire entity is engaged in that pattern of conduct, and that's an unlawful threat while a crackhead is stalking you in the middle of the night and is speaking on behalf of the state. And the lawlessness with which she engages in it, as though there's no consequence. And how many times have I documented that? The entity attacking me and then summoning the gang members of the Ontario Police who were already there stalking me in helicopter while they commit that act of violence, which I documented. That gang is being disbanded and they're going to federal prison, and domestic terrorist leaders who are going to be responsible for terrorism in the U.S., such as Mike Lorenz and Derek Williams, are going to federal prison. Just like Osama bin Laden, a terrorist leader, they're going to federal prison. The people of the state are gang stalking in concert with that agency that is not engaged in law enforcement, and they shall be prosecuted for what they're responsible for, the criminal activity that they share with the people of the state. And this demon is still, understand the state is still stalking by her. It's an admission that she is an agent. She's a third party. She's still engaged in the pattern of conduct in the engineered environment while the entity is sounding train. You can't even hear the train. That's the entity that's monitoring. In fact, in everything that was stated, everything that this third party committed, the entity committed, and the state commits. Mike Lorenz is going to prison. The latest demon was Jay Montez yesterday. He's going to federal prison. This is why. It's not just what I capture in that video, even though those gang members engage in plenty of criminal and federal offenses in the videos that I capture. But this is the bigger picture. This is why gang stalking police officers, the un-American oxymoron, is necessarily, it is mandated to be dealt with federal prison. They're terrorists, and they're facilitating terrorism. It's currently 5:59 a.m. This is P.O.C. All of the harms, all of the damages suffered while this gang has been engaged in terrorism, they thought, while they're vagina monitoring, closeted psychopaths who are demon possessed, hostile because their demons are being discerned and exposed, are engaging what is trying to defame my character when they are bat poo psychotic. They're crazy. And this is what is out defaming American citizens when they are highly unstable. Okay, sitting out in the dark, this video is 15 minutes long, and this demon is steady looking out into the black sky, stalking another person. And this is what you're gaining from that pattern of conduct. And the federal courts are going to give me justice in the way in which I require it. This entity shall not be getting any negotiation, and the entity that is aware of the fact that it's already proven and yet they're out here still gang stalking, I suffer any punctures to my body because a drug addict that's demon-possessed gang stalking me is stabbing me while I'm documenting because the federal government has not engaged in what is stopping this pattern of conduct because they don't want to go to prison. Demons like Paul Leon, the city of Ontario, the state of California, Governor Newsom that knows what I'm documenting. Nobody stepped in and intervened. They're going to prison. I am the one that's dictating what justice is going to look like, and it's not them. And they're still gang stalking, and this is why. This is the pattern of conduct. It is currently 6 a.m. P.O.C.